It's time to play the show. The bell has rung, and that big show might be over. But it's time for us to bring wrestling information you can enjoy with the match predictions, analysis, the ups and downs of professional wrestling, all reaction, some beverage drinking to bring you Logic on Tap with your good brothers. It's time for you to look into the eyes of Howard Blues and the Mark Kidder on Beer, Blues, and BS.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a special wrestling review edition of Beer, Blues, and BS, the podcast that's like beef jerky. And damn it, Kidder, I worked a 16-hour shift. I've been on the road for hours. I just got in. I don't got time for anything witty. So I'm your host.
It's a bit
Blues.
salty?
I don't know. More exhausted.
Dried up?
I don't know. I just said beef jerky because I thought it was funny. Anyway,
Okay.
I'm Howard Blues here, as always, with my co-host, the man, the myth, the legend, the Mark Kidder. Kidder, how you doing tonight?
Howie Blues, I'm pretty good. I'd say we got the shtick, but you were going with the stick there. So, and what's your beef? Okay, fine. It's too late for this or too early, depending on when you're watching or listening to this. And Lord knows that we've had enough of it. So before we start this whole show, we are, yes, going to do some reviewing and whatnot of this afternoon's, because it was in Wales. So they're 6 hours ahead of us. Our time, it happened at noon. So there, 6 p.m., it is the Clash at the Castle WWE Premium Live Event, because they have now officially gone with Premium Live Event instead of Live Premium Event, because reasons. So before, again, we start really going with it, make sure you visit us at beerbluesbs.com. Everywhere and anywhere that we are and that you have an account, please like, subscribe, and share. We would really appreciate it, because sharing is caring, and helping us get to the masses is just one of those extra awesome steps, because then you can get a gold star. Every show we do, we have a What's on Tap, and that basically means what it says. We grab something to drink, we talk about it, and then we drink it while we do the show. So, Howie Blues, what is on tap?
Kidder, as I kind of alluded, it's late. I've been on the road. I mean, I literally, we're recording this. It's 11:25. I pulled into Bismarck at 10:30. So Bud Light, and that's all I'm giving you, because let's just get to the damn review. So what are you drinking, Kidder?
Well, here's the funny thing. I am out of beer. So that means it's hard liquor time, Howard.
I keep offering to buy you a Black-O-Lantern.
No, you keep it for yourself. You need beer on your end. You know what? I think it's time to crack open this one. It's the good stuff. That's right. It's the Templeton 6-year rye whiskey. This is one of those Des Moines products from Templeton, Iowa, the population of 362. This is the, again, good stuff, which has matured and aged in American oak barrels and bottled at, yes, 91.5 proof to deliver an exceptional rye whiskey with hints of honey and floral with deep rye spice and oak. The finish is long and decadent, enhanced with robust notes of dark chocolate. So we'll give this here a delicious taste. Small town, strong spirit. Now, this is a 750 milliliters. No, I'm not going to drink the whole damn thing at this moment. This pay-per-view, sorry, Premium Live Event was not that bad where I need to drink the whole damn thing. So there's at least that. I'd at least also like to mention that it's 45.75% alcohol by volume. So I did not take the time to open this up before we started because, well, I was getting some prep work done as we were doing the things. So there's that. But here we are. Let's pour a little bit of a glass. Howard, you got my predictions earlier today, right?
Yep.
So this thing must have been stuck together for 6 years because the cork doesn't want to come out of the bottle. As we discuss this, and just for the new individuals who are joining us for this, ooh, that smells really good. For this first time, if they are joining us for the first time, give them the lowdown on what happened, what we're doing, why we're here, because sometimes we ask ourselves, why are we here?
Well, the basic rundown is Kidder watches the live premium event. I don't, because I have kids and they demand a lot of my time. So Kidder watches the show. I don't watch the show. But because we have done predictions for years, trying to see who can get, the most match predictions correct, we continue to play this. Now we keep score. You'll see the handy scoreboard here, or maybe over here. Depends what future Howard thinks is the better side. Anyway, but scoreboard, so you can keep along, play along with us. Predictions are made before the event starts. If you're Kidder, if you're me, you do it live on the show because I haven't had time to look at anything, and Kidder knows that, and he trusts me. So, woohoo! Anyway, we do predictions. You can see who does best. Kidder will introduce the match. I'll give my prediction. That sounds like about it. He'll give us what happened. I'll give some thoughts. I'm stalling about as long as I can. Also, at some point, we'll name a match the DraftKings Screwy Finish of the Night. That's a match that is just screwy because once DraftKings became a sponsor of the WWE, there were a lot more screwy finishes that we noticed on these pay-per-views. So, some match tonight will be labeled the Screwy Finish of the Night. So watch for that one to pop up. And yeah, let's see. What else can I talk about? Clash at the Castle. Ugliest color scheme for their graphics with the whole orange clouds. Kidder and I already talked about this at I don't know, at some point, but terrible. Just terrible. Who was thinking of this? When I made our scoreboard, you might notice our scoreboard does not have the orange because that looked like shit.
Oh, yeah. By the way, kids, there's some swearing every once in a while.
That's right. We here at Beer, Blues, and BS reserve the right to have indiscriminate swearing throughout the episode.
Okay. I'm going to put this delicious 6-year back in the fridge there to stay nice and cool for the next one. As you can see, it's got some nice color to it. Look at that. Has a good scent to it. Cheers to you, Howard. It's going to be a long and short one. I say long and short one because there was a match on the kickoff show that was not advertised. It was not advertised anywhere. There was no promotions on Facebook or any other social media that I saw, and so I didn't see it. So it's one less match for me to talk about. As I'm pulling up all the stuff, the match slates and whatnot, I see kickoff. And I'm like, yeah, the kickoff show. And then it says match. And I'm like, what? What do you mean there was a 6-man tag team match? When the hell did that? Oh, about 36 minutes into the kickoff show. That's why I didn't care about it. I even kind of headed up. Didn't even know. So just for that, because we didn't know, doesn't matter. It was a 6-man tag match. Madcap Moss, the Street Profits, and of course Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford, versus Austin Theory and Alpha Academy, which is Chad Gable and Otis. Why was this on the kickoff show? Why was it not advertised? But there it is. And there it was. It was 6 minutes, 29 seconds long. And the Street Profits with Madcap Moss pick up the victory over Alpha Academy and Austin Theory. Because Austin Theory is a douche. I don't know. I didn't see it. It was 6.5 minutes long. It is what it is. Your thoughts, Howard?
Sounds like it's match of the night, which means our job is done. Good night, Kidder. I'm kidding. I'm still here.
Oh. Thank you for not leaving, because I did not want to drink alone. Wouldn't be the first time, but I just don't like it. I like drinking with you.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay, let's start the actual pay-per-view. First of all, first impressions. My take on the opening video. It didn't get me excited. It didn't get me wanting to get up and clash. It didn't make me want to go back to the 1800s and grab a sword and slice a bitch. It was some stock video with some other wrestlers' stock video, and then they shot some new stuff to mix in with their shadows against like cobblestone walls, and then aerial shots of the arena. I'm like, you could have done better. I will give them a +1 along the way, though, for the font they chose within the opening video and how it had the chiseled stone look to it. I enjoy that. Looked good, but did not fit the logo for the event, and so -1. So they get 0. More so the font that they used in there I liked, and the fact they didn't use it for the Clash at the Castle logo, missed opportunity. So on with the show. First match, opening it up, it is the 6-woman tag team match, because they just had a 6-man tag team match on the pre-show not 15 minutes before. This one is Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, and Asuka versus Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky. I went with Bayley, Dakota, and Kai, and Io Sky. Howard.
You probably went with the smart pick, but Asuka, man. I've always been a big Asuka fan. I'm going to stick by her.
You know, maybe for Christmas, I should get you an Asuka mask or something, and then you can do the move to the side and then bite the tip of the mask with your teeth. Just
I'd probably just put it on the shelf back there.
Even for this show? Okay.
Listen,
All
I
right.
didn't even bother to take off the work shirt to reveal the premium T-shirt I'm wearing underneath, you know.
I thought it was just for dramatic effect.
Laziness.
Great. I'm glad that WWE isn't the only one here. Okay. The laziness, in case you missed that. I just wanted to clarify. All right, so here we go. The 6 ladies are in the ring. This match, 18 minutes, 44 seconds. So we're going to discuss this a little bit. Bear with me. Here we go. Interesting thing. Bell rings. The crowd goes nuts. They start the "Hey Bayley," "Hey Bayley, ooh, want you to be my girl." That they started chanting it, and singing it very, very loudly. And then Bayley, being the heel, told them to shush and be quiet and to stop, and gave them the thumbs down. So right away, brawl breaks out. 6-woman brawl. They clear it out a little bit. It ends up being Bianca and Bayley alone in the middle. So match begins. Here we go. Bianca Belair dropping Bayley with the shoulder, then works her over in the corner. Belair launches Bayley across the ring and keeps control, then kips up for, yes, applause. Kai and Sky, got to keep these straight. It's like Austin and Austin. Sweep Belair's arm out when she goes for the handspring and then pull her down to the floor. Alexa Bliss comes in and connects with a big right hand, but Kai and Sky go for the double team suplex. This turns into then a triple suplex. Yes, 3-on-3 suplex, team versus team. It's like World of Warcraft, or perhaps even more appropriately, Magic the Gathering all over again. Just 3-on-3, 4-on-4. They just kept adding people onto the end. And so then they're trying one of this, and then nope, and then one of these, and nope, and then now this, and nope. And then suplex. Wow. I don't know. Sounds like a spot that Howard might enjoy. Maybe. I don't know. Okay. So they continue chanting Bayley and singing the song. And then, Bayley gets mad and ends up tagging Sky in. Sky and Bliss go at it. Sky catches a kick, but Bliss slaps her. Bliss mounts some offense and steps on Sky's back. Bliss sweeps Sky face first into the mat, then rolls her back with the double knee. Bliss goes on and covers for a 2 count. Sky stops Bliss from tagging. Bliss swings and misses, allowing Sky to tag in Bayley. Bayley takes Bliss over to the corner, and then Kai enters the ring and stomps away at Bliss in the corner as the referee gets in her face and warns her. Bayley tags back in, but Bayley drops her face first right onto the mat. Asuka and Bliss double team Bayley, and then Asuka drops Bayley face first. Asuka stomps on Bayley's hand and kicks, but Bayley catches it and takes her down. Sky tags in as Bayley shoves Asuka back. Asuka drop kicks Bayley out. Sky flies off the top with a missile drop kick to Asuka, and then taunts and pokes at Asuka in a show of disrespect. Asuka gets up with a flurry of strikes. Sky rolls her for another 2 count. Sky hits back with a back kick and drops Asuka down to the mat. Sky takes Asuka to the corner and comes in. Kai now takes over as fans rally for Asuka. Kai drops Asuka for another 2 count. Kai takes Asuka to the corner, and in comes Bayley. Goes right back out to stick it to the fans. Comes in with Sky. Sky with a big double thrust knees to Asuka in the corner. Another 2 count. Bayley tags in, stops Asuka from tagging. Asuka sends Bayley to the floor, but Kai tagged in before that. Bliss tags in, leaps off the apron to take Bayley down, but Kai is legal and she attacks at ringside, sending Bliss into the barrier with a big drop kick. Kai poses in the corner to taunt Bliss, who is still down at ringside with Bayley. Now Kai works Bliss over and taunts her while grounding her in the middle of the ring. Kai with a boot to the throat in the corner as the referee warns to let her up. Kai dances around, taunts Blair. Sky comes in, trades offense with Bliss in the middle of the ring. Bliss unloads with forearms, but Sky sends her face first into the turnbuckle. Sky with a flapjack to Bliss, sending her down face first again. Bliss kicks out at 2. As they continue going back and forth, Kai tags in, but Bliss nails the sunset bomb to Kai. Sky charges in and decked Bliss with a legal competitor, or as the legal competitor, covering her for the close 2 count. Now Kai pounds up Bliss with the right hands while she's down. Bayley and Kai double team Bliss and then starts fighting them off, sending Bayley out and dropping Kai. Bliss crawls over for the tag, but Bayley yanks Belair off the apron onto the floor. As we continue through this match, Kai charges and kicks Belair off the apron to the floor again. Bayley sends Belair into the barrier. Bliss drops Kai and tags in Asuka. Sky also tags in, but Asuka meets her with a missile drop kick. Asuka knocks Kai off the apron to the floor. Bailey runs, but Asuka levels her with the shoulder, sends her back out of the ring. Sky blocks a bulldog from Asuka, but Asuka nails, yes, a GTS. Asuka then gets the flurry of the backhands, the kicks, and the strong style lives. And then a German suplex a la Brock Lesnar. Asuka then hits the sliding kick to Sky, a close 2 count, as Kai and Bailey both rush in to break that up. Bliss comes in, and Bailey hits the Bailey to belly suplex. Sky kicks Asuka, but it's blocked. Sky comes right back with a big kick to the side of the face. Bailey tags in and grabs Asuka, but asks Sky for the double team assist. Bailey follows up with the running clothesline to Asuka for another close 2 count. Asuka stuns Bailey, crawls back for the tag. Belair finally tags in, unloads on Bailey, and then does the kick up. Nails the shoulder thrust in the corner. Belair catches Bailey, the big spine buster, hits a standing moonsault, another 2 count. Belair then gets the crowd going, hits the block there, and Kai tags in. Belair then blasts Kai, hits Bailey with some thrusts in the corner. Belair takes Bailey to the top as the referee starts counting because Kai is legal and at ringside. Kai comes back in, but Belair sends her and into Sky on the apron. Now Belair has Bailey back in the corner. Bailey ties Belair up with her own braid. Yes, the giant braid that is occasionally used as a weapon on either side of the match, or perhaps trying to get that advantage. Asuka and Bliss nail a huge superplex to Bailey. It was pretty sweet. And then they stand on Belair's back to hit it while she's trapped in the corner by that braid. Asuka and Bliss regroup at ringside, but Sky hits the big apron moonsault to take him down. Belair rolls Kai up for a quick 2 count, ties to basically power bomb her, but Kai ends up escaping that. As we are nearing the end of the match, they keep going at it toward the corner. Belair hits Kai with a forearm while Kai is sitting on the top turnbuckle. Now Belair picks Kai up, presses her up into the air. Of course, the crowd goes nuts, then uses her to drop Sky as she rushes in. Belair gets the follow-away slam to Kai. Kai goes for a scorpion kick, but Belair grabs it, goes for a power bomb, nails it in the middle of the ring. Belair goes to the top rope, but Kai comes running over and gets out of the way. Kai nails the scorpion kick as Belair is now dazed. Kai misses the running big boot in the corner. Belair got out of the way for that. Belair goes in for the KOD, but Sky pulls out Kai, so that doesn't happen. Bailey traps Belair in the corner by her braid again, allowing Kai to hit the running boot. Sky tags in, goes to the top rope. Bailey hits the rose plant on Belair. Sky follows it up with the moonsault to Belair. Bailey rolls her up for the 1, 2, 3. Your winners and first win as an officially named group or tag team or faction, Damage Control, Bailey, Io Sky, and Dakota Kai. So there's that. It was kind of interesting, kind of sloppy. Meh, it was okay. Wasn't terrible. Wasn't the worst match of the night. I'll just start out with that. Again, 18 minutes, 44 seconds of that match. They also had new theme music to match their new name.
Well, it sounds from that description like there was a lot of stuff in that match. I'm going to just say right now, Damage Control, stupid name.
No, Howard, why would that be a stupid name?
Because it is. It's a stupid name. Damage Control.
But why? Why would it be stupid, Howard?
It's not a great name. You know, like damage control means that like you're fixing things. You know, you're taking the bad and making it just a little less bad.
Maybe they're coming in to fix WWE.
Yeah, I don't know if it's that, especially if they're heels. It's just no. Also, here's a thought, Kidder. Here's a hot take. If you're the heel and they're gonna chant or sing for you, just accept it. Don't try to, get them to boo you by going, shut up,
Yep, there was a lot of that.
It's listen, if they're going to cheer you, especially because, yes, you're over in England, so it's going to be a little weird because the English crowds are always a little weird, and that's okay. That's acceptable. I would have much rather, like Bailey in this case, if they were singing the song, like instead of like telling them to shut up, it'd be like, better to say, see, we're going up against the faces. The crowd doesn't even like them that much. It's a perfect, it's not a perfect heel line because Howard's brain fried, but you get the idea. Like you could say something, snappy or such that kind of like acknowledges that, but continues your heel persona. Like if you're Kevin Owens on a heel run and you're in Montreal, you're going to get cheered louder than anybody else. So instead of like trying to turn the crowd against you, you should just say, Montreal, the only city in the world with class enough to recognize my talent. Because now everybody else is still going to boo you. But, you have one city where you're the hero. It's all right. Except
there, Howard goes thinking again.
Yeah, Howard should stop that when do more drinking and move on to the next match, which I'm sure was a, classic of some kind, maybe, possibly. I don't even know.
Well, not yet. We can't have another match yet. We have to have a commercial and a promo.
Damn it.
Yep. So we have a Cody Rhodes promo. My son, Cody Rhodes. He's not yet coming to the ring because he's still rehabbing. Then, just a fun fact for you, because they mentioned this during the show. The last stadium show in the UK was SummerSlam 1992. So, yes, it's been 30 years since WWE felt the UK good enough to host a major pay-per-view or premium live event. Yeah. Also interesting, as they displayed, and I'll talk about here, they showed a vignette with basically the British Bulldog and what happened during SummerSlam 1992. Now, with the British Bulldog and Bret Hart facing each other there at SummerSlam 92, or shall I say taking part in SummerSlam 92. They made mention of that, and, well, the family of British Bulldog was in attendance. Davey Smith was there, and, well, right next to him, by God, it's Bret Hart, everybody. Raises his hand as a, hey, yep, I made it past immigration. And then they basically move on. All right. Next up, which I didn't notice because I haven't been paying attention that much, that closely to Raw and SmackDown, but the Brawling Brutes are now the faction name for Sheamus, Ridge Holland, and Butch. Or Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne. We'll go with Pete Dunne. The Brawling Brutes.
Another stupid name.
Yeah, they're brutes. I mean, just brutes. They're not smart enough. All right. So they come out and, big pop because Sheamus. Then Ludwig Kaiser appears on the microphone. It is also interesting because I have a better German accent than Ludwig Kaiser. It is very, very interesting that a superstar of his class does not have that good of a German accent. So, again, Kaiser on the microphone. He demands everybody's gratitude for Giovanni Vinci, who is now standing next to him. The former Fabian Eichner has reunited with the group. Kaiser introduces the Intercontinental Champion, Gunther, as the leader of Imperium. And the faction is now back. And then Kaiser goes on with the intro of the Ring General. And then they march to the ring. So, Corey Graves went bonkers. It's Imperium! Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, this is the first time I've ever seen him or heard of him. So, good for you.
They were big in NXT. And I will just say this. Imperium. Well, there's a good name. That's a good faction name. Mm-hmm.
It's very faction-y, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but it's got some class, and it doesn't just sound like, you know, you're ripping stuff off of a 1960 Stan Lee Marvel comic book. Brawling brutes.
I mean, you know, Marvel's popular and stuff, so maybe.
Yeah, but nobody likes Marvel because of all of Stan Lee's alliterations. I don't know if have ever caught on to that, Kidder, because I know like you don't necessarily read the comics, but like all of the alliterations within Marvel, you know, Peter Parker, Stephen Strange. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
There's more.
El Generico.
It's kind of like that. J. Jonah Jameson. Matt Murdock.
Well, that makes the names memorable.
Not really.
Okay.
Reed Richards.
Yeah. Anyway, I guess we're talking about wrestling. Not really. Doesn't matter anymore. This is about the time when this is when I got sidetracked in the show for a while. I picked Gunther to retain the Intercontinental Championship because I don't know, he seems big and bad, and well, why would WWE, you know, have an opportunity like this to give Sheamus the Intercontinental title, which, a fun fact, he has never won. Yeah. That's the only belt left that he has to win to become the Grand Slam champion. He's won the U.S. title several times. Obviously, the WWE title, World Heavyweight title. I mean, we could count the Universal title, but nobody cares.
I'm going to pick Walter to win this, by the way.
Oh, right. The actual name. Walter.
The non-Nazi name, yes. Walter. I'll take that.
So, just a side story before we talk about this. A couple weeks ago already, ended up finally getting around to watching The Man in the High Castle. Okay. Amazon Prime. It's a series about if the Germans and the Japanese had won World War II. This is now in the 60s. Different world and dramatized, obviously. As you look at the main characters as part of the American Nazi regime in this series, I see where they got Gunther's, I guess, apparel from. I mean, they could even stretch it back to the World War II real world Nazis with the trench coat and kind of the piping on it. And I'm like, really? Is this needed? I mean, it is 2022. Do we really need to make it seem like a wrestler is part of the like Aryan nation or something? I mean, do we need that? I don't know. Anyway, just made me think of that. So in this one, I also picked Gunther or Walter, whomever. Doesn't really matter. This match was 19 minutes, 33 seconds, and I'm going to make it go, hopefully, a lot faster than that. So here we go. The two factions in the ring staring each other down. Referee raises the Intercontinental belt up, and, well, guess what? A brawl ensues. Not between Sheamus and Gunther, but between the other four individuals in the ring. They brawl and brawl and brawl, and then they kick each other out of the ring, and then, of course, Sheamus and Gunther are still in the center of the ring, staring each other down. The ring is now cleared, so the ref rings the bell. And it's on! Damn it, it's on! There they go. This one was, as I would say, the most aggressive match of the night. Well, we don't have a thing for that. Just saying that as a side note. Gunther hits a big uppercut into the corner. Sheamus fights back, and now Gunther nails a huge chop to the chest. You're going to notice that this is a theme. They continue brawling and now collide with their shoulders against each other. Gunther drops Sheamus with a big boot. Gunther stands tall, gets booed. Sheamus gets right back up, starts swinging away. Sheamus blocks a suplex and then hits one on Gunther of his own. Now the fans start dueling the chants, as they boo, yay, back and forth as they are booing the hell out of Gunther and cheering Sheamus. I wonder why. Gunther avoids the 10 beats of the Baldwin and drops down to the floor from the apron, but Sheamus sends him into the steel ring steps. Sheamus grabs Gunther, pulls him back into the rings. Fans now chant to, I'm sorry, Future Howard, fuck him up, Sheamus. It's not like an AEW show where they actually let it go. Sheamus tries for the 10 beats of the Baldwin again, but Gunther blasts him from the other side of the ropes. Sheamus comes in from the apron. Gunther chops him to the corner. Gunther runs in, double boots, and goes down. Sheamus pulls himself up to the top, but Gunther, again, a huge chop, knocks Sheamus off the top down to the floor. They go out on the floor now, and they're blasting each other. Gunther slams Sheamus to the top half of the steel steps. Referee starts counting. Gunther again is back in the ring and doing the typical heel showboating. Sheamus makes it back right at the 9 count. Almost to 10. Gunther meets him right in the middle there. More strikes. They're trading chops now. Huge slaps, chops, they're blasting each other left, right, up, down. Gunther chops Sheamus down to his knees and then eventually gets him down onto his back because he's chopping him so much. Now he's kicking Sheamus to keep him down, starts trash talking and doing the old disrespect as usual. Sheamus fights back from his knees. Gunther continues chopping and another big boot to the head. Gunther unloads with more strikes against the ropes, but now Sheamus, he's trying to fight back. Gunther delivers another big boot right to the head. They did a slow-mo replay on this, and it looked like Sheamus's head moved about 6 inches off to the side. Gunther hits the Boston Crab in the middle of the ring now. Gunther turns into a crossface. A side story as well that the WWE television actually caught a screenshot or in the crowd of people cheering of a guy wearing a shirt that says better dad than Chris Benoit. Yes, if you look in the episode or in the premium live event, it's in there. So there's an Easter egg for you. As we continue, Sheamus tries to fight back. Gunther beats him down and delivers another huge chop to the back. Sheamus is on his knees, and again, fans are behind him trying to rally. Gunther continues to dominate, stopping to pose over Sheamus in the middle of the ring. Sheamus stares at Gunther, continues getting blasted, and then eventually gets back to his feet. Sheamus starts striking now, fans again rallying. Gunther rams him into the corner, sends him to the floor right in front of the announcers. Gunther follows him, scoop slams Sheamus right onto the floor. Gunther then tosses Sheamus over the announce table and into the chairs. Sheamus got up, counters after he got back around the announce desk, and blasts Gunther's face into the announce table a few times. They tried to do the 10 beats of the Baldwin over the table, but you know how it's not really the real thing, but it's kind of the real thing. Ends up getting Gunther back into the ring and continues there. Side note as well that Michael Cole had the biggest pissed off face as he's trying to collect his notes and figure out where the hell he was in the show, because all of his notes and papers were all over the place on the floor and stuff. Just kind of interesting. So here we go. Gunther was getting beat up, tried to miss, but Sheamus hit him with a clothesline. The fans get behind him, Sheamus again. Sheamus finally delivers the full 10 beats of the Pauldron. Gunther retreats to the floor. Sheamus follows. Gunther sends him over the top of the barrier. Sheamus grabs Gunther and hits another 10 beats of the Pauldron from the crowd, and this time, well, he goes past 10 just because he can. Fans go nuts once again. Gunther stumbles away. Sheamus brings him back into the ring, goes for the top. The fans are chanting to do it again. Well, as Sheamus goes to the top, he ends up nailing the flying knee drop to the head. Sheamus gets in the middle, starts yelling. Fans go nuts again. Sheamus scoops Gunther to his shoulders, but Gunther slides out his forearm to the back. They trade big strikes in the middle of the ring, and then, well, Gunther, guess what? Goes for a big German suplex. Wonder why he wouldn't go for an Austrian suplex, because he's allegedly from Austria. So they start blasting each other again as Sheamus nails a jumping knee. There's a close 2 count. The fans start going nuts with the "this is awesome," and the match continues to go back and forth. Gunther fights off the slam attempt, but he gets a hold of Sheamus and applies the sleeper. Sheamus goes to one knee but comes back and picks up Gunther, delivers white noise. Gunther kicks out at 2, and Sheamus is now exhausted. Fans continue chanting, "This is awesome." They start going nuts again for Sheamus as he's waiting for Gunther to get back up, calling for the brogue kick. Gunther dodges the brogue. Sheamus comes back with a big elbow. Gunther with a drop kick in the corner. Then Gunther hits a powerbomb in the middle of the ring, but it looked a little bit off. Didn't get all the power that he would normally have gotten out of that. Sheamus kicks out at 2. Gunther gets more offense now as he goes to the top rope. Fans are booing the crap out of him. Sheamus jumps up, rocks Gunther while he's on top. Gunther fights back. More chops from the top turnbuckle. Gunther knocks Sheamus back. He's slow to capitalize. Sheamus gets the big boot on Gunther while he's up there. Sheamus then hits a huge Celtic cross, pulling Gunther from the top rope. Sheamus slow to make the cover. Gunther kicks out just in time. Of course, everybody, holy crap. Sheamus goes in for the brogue, but his back ends up giving out. Gunther follows it up with a power bomb. This one wasn't quite all the way. Gunther starts yelling as he waits for Sheamus to get up. Sheamus stumbles back to his feet. Gunther meets him with a stiff lariat, a very, very stiff lariat. Ends up getting the pin. 1, 2, 3. Your winner, and still Intercontinental Champion Gunther. So, your interesting thoughts on that, Howie Blues?
That one actually sounds like a pretty decent match, and one worth going and trying to find at some point, or at least seeing some highlights and such. So,
yes. At one point, Corey Graves said, Sheamus's chest looks like hamburger. I mean, he is pasty white, and those chops were ripping his skin apart. So, yes, it looked like it hurt.
Yeah.
A side note, Gunther and the group had, their little pose as they're going to the back. Sheamus got up, and everybody started cheering and going crazy for him. And then they hit his music, and then he went out. Again, that match, 19 minutes, 33 seconds. Any other final thoughts on that?
Not really. Not surprised by that one.
Yeah. Still pulling for Sheamus, though. Even though I chose Gunther, because why not, I guess. All right. Usos promo. And then, well, a promo as we head into the next match about the SmackDown Women's title. Liv Morgan, your champion, versus Shayna Baszler from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. This one, I chose Liv Morgan.
This should be an easy pick of Shayna Baszler. It just should be, right? But even though this is the Triple H era, and it would make sense because he booked Shayna Baszler very, very dominant during her run, I think they're going to keep it on Liv. I don't know. They haven't really used Shayna in that role since her debut. And this match seems like out of nowhere a little bit. Shayna hasn't been part of the title picture. I think it's going to be Liv.
Yeah, the out of nowhere part kind of got me too, because they have never faced each other in a singles match. And then, boom, title shot. What? Okay. This match was 11 minutes, 2 seconds. So, are you ready for this?
No, but give it to us anyway.
All right. So, Shayna Baszler makes her way out, and they actually mentioned that she's from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. So that was all right. They also show the UFC welterweight champion Leon Edwards in the crowd, stands up, gets the claps and cheers, etc. And then Liv Morgan comes on out, and they do the standard introductions. So, bell rings, they lock up. Liv takes Baszler down for a quick roll-up. Baszler goes in for an early Kirifuda clutch, but Liv escapes, and we get a kick out. Liv tries for Baszler's submission on the mat, but Baszler escapes. Baszler tries for a pin attempt, but now they face off again before getting back to their feet. Liv starts talking some trash, and then they start going at it. Liv sends Baszler flying with a scissors kick, and then kicks her against the ropes. Liv hits a drop kick to the back. Liv then gets a high knee in the corner. Liv misses the back elbow in the corner, but Baszler runs into a boot. Not about, just a boot. Liv goes to the top, walks the ropes, but Baszler knocks her down to the floor. Ref starts counting when Baszler goes to the floor, ends up folding Liv's arm up and sends her into the barrier shoulder first. Baszler brings it back in with the 6 count of the outside ring count, and Liv then kicks out of that as they are now back into the ring and trying to go for the pin. Baszler works on Liv's arm while grounding her to the mat again. Baszler twists the arm, making Liv start screaming. Baszler runs into a back elbow. Liv keeps fighting Baszler off, but Baszler nails a clothesline for a close 2 count while doing that creepy smile. They start fighting again. Baszler drops Liv onto her head with another suplex for a close 2 count. Baszler continues to dominate, as Howard had talked about there, working Liv over on the mat. Liv nails a jawbreaker to get an opening. She then drops Baszler with the from the corner with a drop kick, so they both go down. The referee starts counting. Everybody starts cheering. Baszler gets up to her knees. Liv kip ups at the 8 count. Liv starts screaming at Baszler and unloads with strikes. And then, yes, the enziguri. Baszler misses a shot. Liv drops her face first into her knees for another close 2 count. Liv keeps control, dodges a big knee in the corner, causing Baszler to hit the turnbuckle. Baszler comes back with another knee, and this time connects for a 2 count. Baszler screams, and Liv talks some trash out of frustration. Baszler stands over Liv and takes her time, then kneels down with, yes, more trash talking. Liv blocks a submission, pulls Baszler into the triangle. Baszler tries to get free, but Liv turns it into an armbar. So yes, Liv is now using the submissions against the submission master. They tangle on the mat again, but Liv keeps the armbar applied. Baszler breaks out, stomps away on Liv's hurt arm. Baszler hits a power bomb and a big knee strike to the face. Liv kicks out just in time. There's some more back and forth. Liv catches Baszler with a power bomb, close 2 count. Baszler immediately goes into the Karafuda clutch, and then she's struggling. She's struggling with it because it's like she's never done it before. Baszler with an armbar now. Liv rolls to the ropes, breaks the hold. Baszler goes up first, and she goes in for the Karafuda clutch again, but this time with the good arm. Liv counters, kicks out. Now Liv hits a code breaker to stun Baszler, drops her with the Oblivion, gets the pin. 1, 2, 3, your winner, and still SmackDown Women's Champion, Liv Morgan. This match was sloppy. I was not a huge fan of this match. By the way, it was 11 minutes, 2 seconds, in case I forgot to mention that a little bit earlier. Howard, your thoughts?
Yeah, this just doesn't sound anything interesting. I mean, I kind of hinted at it in my prediction. This match kind of seems like it came out of nowhere. Shayna Baszler hasn't been in the title picture for well over a year. It just, it's hard to just buy that she's all of a sudden an incredible threat. And I'm not surprised this is sloppy. I'm not. And yeah, in no way, shape, or form should Liv Morgan ever beat Shayna Baszler. I mean, Shayna Baszler was a legit MMA fighter. I have a hard time believing that she loses to Liv Morgan, but that's WWE for you.
I do have to say, I laughed at one bit of the promo that said, I just laugh. It's Liv Morgan in one of her promos to Shayna Baszler, saying that she's just a knockoff or a poor knockoff of Ronda Rousey. And I'm like, she's not wrong, I guess. No. Anyway, shall we continue?
Yes, please.
Okay. Was pointed out the NXT UK general manager Johnny Saint was in the crowd, which is interesting because they've closed the doors to NXT UK. And later today, since it's now September 4th, the TakeOver Worlds Collide will happen, and they are merging the NXT Women's Championship belt with the NXT UK Women's Championship belt, as well as the NXT Championship belt and the NXT UK Championship belt. So there will just be an NXT Women's Champion and an NXT Champion. Side note. They also made a point to introduce two UK veterans as special guests, Exotic Adriana Street and Miss Linda, sitting in the crowd. And then, video package, another one. Not quite a promo, just another video package. So, yes. Oh, also, promo. It's a Paul Heyman promo. No, it's an Extreme Rules promo. Yes, Extreme Rules, October 8th in Philadelphia, which is why Paulie Dangerous, Paul Heyman himself, cut the promo, which then they made mention of that he must have cut that video months ago because he was destroyed like 6 weeks ago, put through the announce desk. So, and he hasn't been seen from yet. All right, next match on the docket. It is another tag team match. Finn Balor, Damian Priest of Judgment Day versus Rey Mysterio and Edge. Accompanied to the ring by Dominic Mysterio. Almost called him Damien. Dominic Mysterio. And on the other side of it, Rhea Ripley accompanied the Judgment Day. This one I picked Judgment Day.
I mean, a solid pick, but I think it's going to be Edge and Ray.
Yeah. This one, I thought there would have been some shenanigans more so. Interesting that there really weren't in this match. It was 12 minutes, 35 seconds. Yeah, that's the prep for it. So let's go. Interesting thing is Rey Mysterio comes out first with Dominic. They had cut a promo earlier where Dominic was like, "Why did you choose Edge? Because I'm your family." And Ray's like, "ASA. Edge and I go back years, Holmes, to like before you were born." And Dominic's like, "You should have told me, because we're mi familia." I just think this storyline is annoying. All right. Edge comes out next, and he's wearing a red trench coat and a red lucha mask. It's kind of cool. There's like devil horns on it and stuff. Kind of cool. All right. Judgment Day comes out. Rhea Ripley's there, and here we go. Rey Mysterio starts off with Finn Balor. Balor starts unloading, takes Rey to the corner, working him over. Referee starts counting. Balor gets a running chop into the opposite corner as the referee gets in his face again. Rey dodges a couple of those shots and unloads some kicks and punches of his own. Balor then blasts him and rolls him up, but Ray kicks him in the head. Balor runs into a back elbow, and then, this was pretty sweet, Ray hits a big Hurricane Rana to take him down. Priest tags in as Ray is waiting for him. Priest then points at Edge, wants him to tag in. The fans go nuts. Priest is fired up to fight Edge, so Edge tags in, but Priest drops him with one right hand. Then Priest hits him with a big forearm into the corner. More big strikes. Priest ends up whipping Edge into the corner. Ray jumps up, puts his body in the way to protect Edge. Edge unloads on Priest to get him out of the corner, then sends Priest to the floor with Finn Balor. Ray tags in and charges, with Edge launching him out of the ring onto Balor and Priest at ringside. Ray comes in with some kicks to Priest. Priest catches a moonsault, nails a modified broken arrow in the middle of the ring. Priest gets on top of Ray and starts punching him. Priest knocks Ray back into the corner, then nails a leaping back elbow after taunting Edge. Balor tags in, starts stomping onto Ray, then poses because, typical heel, right? Balor with the thrust into the corner. Then Balor hits a backbreaker as he holds Ray, so Priest can then deliver a big leg drop. Ray kicks out at 2. Priest starts hitting Ray and sends him up into the ropes, but Ray kicks him. Priest drops Ray again. Priest with more disrespect to Edge as he looks on. Balor tags back in, drops Ray for another 2 count. Balor hits a suplex, and then he holds it, but doesn't go for the 3 amigos, and then the fans boo him. Instead, Finn Balor blasts Ray into the mat. Balor poses again, talks trash before grounding Ray. Rhea Ripley starts talking trash from ringside as the fans start getting a little bit more into it. Ray fights out, but Balor stops him from getting the tag, delivering a knee straight to the gut. Ray trips Balor in the corner, sending him into the turnbuckle face first. And they end up on the floor. Ray sends Balor over the barrier into the crowd. Priest hits Ray and has him on top of the barrier for a power bomb. Ray fights out, drops Priest, crouching him up to the top of the barrier. Yeah, ouch. Ray crawls back in, looks for the tag as Rhea Ripley is starting to yell at Priest and Balor to get in. Priest rushes in, stops Ray from crawling, but Ray, he finally tags Edge and comes in as the crowd goes wild for that hot tag. Edge runs wild on Balor and Priest. Edge hits the Education DDT to Balor, and of course the fans like that one. Edge sends Priest flying, and then, yes, nails the 619 and gets the crowd into it. Ray follows up with a splash to Finn Balor. Edge covers up 2 count. Priest makes a save from the floor. Priest grabs Ray from the apron and hits him with a choke slam. Edge makes a save by hitting a spear to send Priest down to the floor. Now, Dominic is thrilled, and the fans are chanting, "Holy shit! Holy shit!" Ray is launched under the bottom rope to the floor by Balor. Edge starts fighting Balor off, makes his way back into the ring. Balor drops him with the sling blade. Balor drops Edge into the corner now and goes up to the top. Coup de grace. Well, Dominic is now distracting the ref from the apron, which allows Ray to attack Finn Balor and stop that coup de grace. Or coup de grace. Depends who you talk to, I guess, right? Anyway, Ray brings Balor to the mat, lands hard. Ripley takes out Dominic and launches him into the barrier. Ripley then grabs Dominic for a slam, but Ray makes a save, taking out his son and Rhea Ripley at ringside. Ray goes in, drops Balor into position for a 619. He goes for the 619, but Balor stops him with the clothesline. Balor boots Ray to the floor. Fans start booing. Balor charges, but Dominic ends up tripping him. Ray fights off Balor. He hits the 619 this time, sending him right into the spear by Edge. Edge covers. That's a 1, 2, 3. Gets the win. Your winners of this match, Edge and Rey Mysterio. Who's that jumping from the sky? It's R-E-Y Mysterio. That's right. So there you go. Your initial thoughts there, Howard Blues?
Sounds like an okay match. Kind of predictable, to put the veterans, the two legends, over the two young guys. Yeah. I mean, I know I don't sound so enthused, but I mean, it is late and I'm tired. But yeah, I don't know. It sounded like it was a okay match, but I don't know. It doesn't sound like it was anything special.
It was okay. I mean, it was it was there. Pretty decent. Now, I have to say, but wait, there's more. You're asking more. Why do we need more? The match is over. Well, it just so happens that Edge and Ray, they're cheering, happy that they won. Music starts hitting, everybody's going crazy because they actually won a match. Dominic comes on into the ring, watches, Ray and Edge are celebrating. Ray is raising Edge's arm for the victory. Then Edge and Dominic start talking a little bit here. Dominic's pissed. Edge is kind of like, hey, kid, it's okay, Dominic kind of turns to the side, and then wham! Rochambeau right to the edge of Edge's crotch. Wham! He goes down. Ray's like, what are you doing? Come on, calm down. He's here to help. He awkwardly looks away, as in Dominic awkwardly looks away. And then, bam, big clothesline. Dominic, he clotheslines his own father. Oh, my God. I mean, kind of saw it coming a mile away. Judgment Day off to the side, laughing. Fans start chanting, asshole. Ray and Edge are seen on the mat in the ring, all broken, and Ray's like, why? And Edge is, holding his man parts. Huge missed opportunity here. And I say this because, as you'll see in the screenshots here, Dominic was wearing the Mysterio's shirt throughout the match. And then, as he's walking up the ramp, he rips the shirt in half. But you can't see it because the camera's this close to him. So you see this ripped and opened, which missed opportunity. Watching him rip the Mysterios in half, the shirt. It would have been perfect visuals, but you screwed up. You had one chance, screwed it up. And then, again, they cut back and forth between the one shot this close to him. You see it ripped. The other shot, he's standing there without the shirt because he had just thrown it. So, final thoughts on that?
I hate to say it, but this turn from Dominic has been kind of predicted and talked about by other commentators for 8-9 months. It's kind of one of those everybody's been waiting for it, so no real surprise. you kind of knew they were going to pull the trigger at some point because WWE hates tag teams.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Next up is DraftKings promo. And then we get a Drew McIntyre promo. And then, first ever advertised that I can recall. They had a post-show press conference immediately following the event. No, we didn't get footage of that because we didn't care. Also, they apparently sold out, but that's interesting because allegedly the setup capacity for Clash at the Castle was 67,580 people, but only 62,594 fans were in attendance. So possibly that they changed the setup of the arena, but it was sold out. And then a video package of the next match, which is Matt Riddle. He got his name back versus Seth Rollins. This one, I chose Matt Riddle.
Yeah, I was going to go with Riddle as well. Mm-hmm.
All right. This is the second to last match. It was 17 minutes, 22 seconds, and here we go. Riddle's ready to fight. Seth Rollins came out interesting as kind of like a flamboyant version of the devil. He had these like wings and kind of a half moon. It's in whatever. Took them off. They started. The fans, as you know, are quite boisterous, if you will, over there. And so they kept singing Seth Rollins' theme, which was all right. Right away, the bell ring. They start going at it. They're going at it, going at it, going at it. It's kind of like the Rock'em Sock'em Robots. Just, I was waiting for Matt Riddle's head to pop off with how many drugs that he's taken in the past, decade. But they go back and forth, over to the corner. They get into the corner. Referee backs him off. Riddle gets into the ref's face, does the old finger point, and the ref freaks out. He had a Howard the Ref moment. Rollins, what?
Howard the Ref never had a moment like that, so.
Oh. Maybe in all of our dreams then.
Sure.
So they start fighting again, and they're throwing blows. They're throwing haymakers. Riddle meets Rollins with a knee to the gut. 2 sentons, hits him onto the mat. Rollins kicks out at 2. The fans continue singing Rollins' theme. Rollins and Riddle keep trading more blows back and forth. Riddle takes Rollins down in kind of submission, but Rollins is able to power up out of that, hits a power bomb. They both tumble over the top rope onto the floor. Rollins ends up hitting first. Riddle goes for a punt kick from the apron, but Rollins ends up catching it and launches him into the barrier with a power bomb, hitting the cameraman. Camera guy's got to watch out. Dangerous job. Rollins gets back into the ring as the ref is counting now. Riddle gets back to his feet. Rollins goes for a suicide dive, ends up sending Riddle onto the top rope of the top part, that is, of the announce desk. Again, Michael Cole is not happy. Rollins brings it back into the nail. Back in, that is. Hits the short arm clothesline. Rollins stands over top of Riddle, ends up posing for a mixed reaction. Riddle gets up, fights back, but Riddle drops him down for a 2 count. Rollins then gets on top of Riddle and starts throwing hands. The referee yells at Rollins. Rollins kicks Riddle around, taunts him. Riddle jumps up, start firing back strikes. Rollins ends up ducking a kick and rolls up Riddle for 2. Rollins then hits Riddle in the face for another 2 count. Rollins grabs Riddle with the Falcon Arrow for another close pin attempt. Rollins ends up keeping control, keeps it to the top for an inverted suplex, but Riddle resists and knocks him down. Rollins gets a kick to turn Riddle upside down in the corner. Rollins goes to the top rope, hits a huge stomp while Riddle's upside down. Riddle then gets pinned and kicked out at 2. Yes, only a 2 count. Rollins takes Riddle back to the top, but Riddle keeps fighting back. Rollins hits a superplex, rolls through for a Falcon Arrow. Riddle blocks it, hits the Fisherman's Buster. Riddle unloads more strikes. Rollins catches him with a knee to the face. Riddle comes back, jumping strikes, but Rollins blocks him. Riddle then gets a big throw across the ring with Rollins rolls under the bottom rope onto the apron. Riddle, well, he flies over there, gets him with a big kick. Rollins ends up getting a floating bro from the middle rope onto the floor. Some bitch looked like it hurt. Riddle brings it back to the ring, but Rollins grabs him, goes for the pedigree. Riddle blocks it, hits a bro to sleep. That's the second time tonight that CM Punk is represented on this show. As we continue on, Riddle hits a power bomb and then a knee to the face. Rollins kicks out just in time. Riddle kicks Rollins, goes back up for a floating bro, but Rollins gets his knees up in time. Riddle sidesteps the stomp. They trade the big counters. Riddle drops Rollins into a triangle in the middle of the ring. Riddle pulls up the arm way back, and Rollins starts to fade as the referee checks on him. Rollins starts kicking Riddle in the face, and then counters with Riddle's bro Derek. Riddle kicks out at 2. Rollins and Riddle are getting a little worn down at this point. Rollins slowly goes up to the top, but has to roll through as Riddle is moving toward him. They both trade some big kicks, stunning each other. Riddle's got an overhead kick and a kip up before a big pop, but Rollins hits him and then goes for the forearm to the back of the neck. Riddle blocks a stomp and nails a big knee. Rollins gets that enziguri because we can't go a match without an enziguri. Riddle then gets a huge German suplex in response. So that would be, I think, number 3 for the night. Rollins blocks a big move, drops Riddle with a pedigree, gets another close 2 count. The fans, they get into it. They're chanting, "This is awesome" at this point. Rollins begins to get up, talking some trash, calling Riddle a loser to his face. Rollins talks about Riddle's wife and his kids, saying they left him and that's why he's divorced. Riddle snaps and unloads with a bunch of strikes. Rollins kicks Riddle in the head as he tries to come back through the ropes. Rollins goes to use Randy Orton's second rope, draping DDT. The vintage! Howard's favorite move ever. Yes, he nails it. What?
Nothing. I'm just shaking in my head that you called it my favorite move. That's not even vintage is not the name of the move. It's the Hangman DDT. It's just the fact that it's vintage Orton is what Cole always says.
It's vintage Howard for loving it. All right. So, Rollins is smiling now, strutting around the ring. The fans, again, doing the theme song. Rollins drops down to the mat, just like Orton calling for the RKO. Riddle blocks him and takes him out of the air, right down to the rear naked choke. Riddle's blasting Rollins now in the back of his head. Riddle kicks Rollins, sends him down to the floor, slams his face into the announce table, and again, this is awesome. At this point, Riddle grabs a steel chair because he's practically snapped. He's over. Rollins avoids the steel chair, rushes back into the ring. Riddle ends up following, but Rollins meets him with a stomp. Rollins takes his time, hits another stomp from the second rope, pins 1, 2, 3. That's right. Seth Rollins picks up a victory over Riddle. Riddle gets up and he's, pissed, and fans are singing Rollins music, and that's the end of it. 17 minutes, 22 seconds. Power Blues, your reaction?
It is, again, it sounds like this was a decent match. All in all said, probably one of the other ones I'll try and track down at some point. So a little surprised by the outcome. But,
I like it. About right. Okay, well, let's move on. It's the Paul Heyman Extreme Rules promo again. And then we see some video footage from earlier today, now yesterday, of Roman Reigns talking with Tyson Fury, and they're like, hey, they're all buddies. They're all buddies. They come back to the ring. Fury is sitting ringside. And then they cut over to another camera where Karrion Kross and Scarlett are also sitting ringside. If you didn't hear, or if we didn't have a chance to talk about, Karrion Kross and Scarlett returned, and they've basically given Roman Reigns the tick-tock. And the hourglass, sands in the hourglass. Time is running out. With this, they also had a promo for WWE Legends biography on A&E, a WWE Community Pediatric Cancer promo to make you feel depressed, and a Becky Lynch promo, because there's nothing like saying, hey, here is somebody's wife right after you see a match with their other half. Okay. Now, as I say, Mark Henry says, my name's Mark, so I can steal it too. It looks like there's been enough talk. It's time for the main event. Drew McIntyre versus the blah 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 champion Roman Reigns. I went out on a limb on this one. Apparently, I'm getting tired, and I don't want to talk about this anymore either. Went out on a limb. Drew McIntyre, because I figured there would be some shenanigans during the match. I don't know why. I just figured, because it's Roman Reigns. He can't win a match on his own.
Yeah, I was going to go with Roman Reigns. I don't think they're going to flip the title on a pay-per-view called Clash at the Castle. I think if they're going to flip it, especially with as long as he's held it, it's going to be one of the bigger shows. I had expected on Mania, or on SummerSlam, but not Clash of the Champions and such. So would I like to see McIntyre have it? Sure. It'd be interesting to see what a title run for him would look like under Triple H, where it's kind of maybe less gimmicky is what he's kind of become. But yeah, let's see. You chose Reigns, right?
No, I went with McIntyre on the thought that there would be a screwy finish and like some kind of a disqualification. Not that McIntyre would actually win the damn thing. Because, he should win. He's in his homeland, and they haven't been there in 30 years, and there's over 60,000 people in attendance, which is kind of like a bigger SummerSlam. So I agree in the thought that they wouldn't change the title because it's not, Mania, but at the same time, it's UK's version of WrestleMania for the first time in 30 years.
Yeah.
So
I'll then stick with Roman just so we break this tie. So somebody wins between the two of us tonight.
All right. Well, here we go. This match is 30 minutes, 47 seconds. As they come out back to the ring, they bring in Drew McIntyre's original theme song. It is called Angela. And then pyro and fire and flames and all kinds of stuff. So Roman Reigns comes out and everybody starts booing. All right. As we start the match, according to Michael Cole in the commentary portion of this, he says Sami Zayn and the Usos are not medically cleared to be in the UK due to the beating that they took on SmackDown, which they did get blasted pretty good. So, interesting note, right? Because then that kind of blows my thought out of the window of, the UK screw job, right? So the bell rings. And it's a slow start. It's a freaking Roman Reigns match. Roman Reigns eventually gets in there. I'm not even going to waste your time with how long it was because it was just long enough. Yes, longer than this pause. They get in there and eventually Drew McIntyre grabs them and they lock up. So they start throwing some fists. Drew's running the ropes, clothesline of Reigns over the top rope finally. Drew follows, Reigns is dazed. Drew slams Reigns face first into the apron, whips him shoulder first into the steel ring steps. Then Drew returns to the ring, breaks the count, goes back out. Fans throw a water ball and hits Drew's boot. Interestingly enough. Drew walks over, but he sees that it was actually Karrion Kross who threw the water bottle. Not a fan. So Drew starts yelling at Karrion Kross. They're having words. Don't do that. Don't turn your back. Well, Reigns is there. He attacks Drew from behind. Sends Drew face first into the ring post. Drew slips on water at ringside and goes down. Manages to make it back before the 9 count. Almost didn't. Reigns goes for it, unloading, goes to work on Drew. He's beating him now, setting him into the corner. Drew then returns some big rights into the corner. Reigns tosses Drew out to the floor. The referee starts counting. Reigns keeps control. Drew comes back into the ring. Reigns nails a flying clothesline, gets a 1 count. They go at it again, run the ropes. Reigns levels Drew with a boot. Drew kicks out at 1 again. Drew fights back, starts with the chops. Reigns counters, whips Drew hard into the turnbuckles, putting him back onto the mat. Drew fights back with some chops, but Reigns hits him and unloads with some rights to put him back down as fans start booing. They start trying to cheer for Drew as Drew gets back up and they lock up and now start trying to trade suplexes, but they can't get one another off the mat. They're going back and forth, back and forth. They get about 90% of the way, give up, and Reigns beats Drew down. Yeah. Reigns plays to the crowd, gets some more boos. Reigns is now, he got a hold of a microphone. He calls on Cardiff. What happens? Acknowledge me. And they boo him. Reigns turns back around. Bam! Glasgow kiss out of nowhere. Reigns and Drew both go down in the middle of the ring. Referee checks them out. They're on their back. They both get up and then start trading fists again. The fans are doing the hey, boo, yay, boo, yay again. Drew gets the upper hand, but Reigns kicks him. Drew hits a clothesline and then a belly-to-belly throw across the ring, goes over, picks him up again, and does it again. Drew ducks a right hand from Reigns, nails a neck breaker. Now they're both down for a couple seconds, but Drew kip-ups for a huge pop. And then Drew starts getting a little more charisma boost. Well, attacking Reigns in the corner, getting the crowd into it. Drew takes Reigns to the top, hits a superplex, but as he tries to hit that superplex, Reigns is resisting. Reigns drops Drew. Now he's sitting on the top rope. Reigns hits him with more right hands. Drew has a fist of his hair. Reigns blasts him, turns him upside down in the corner. Drew's laying there upside down as Reigns tries to get a little bit of an upper hand, but Drew overpowers him and launches Reigns onto the mat. Drew then pulls himself back up to his feet. Reigns rolls to the floor to regroup so Drew can take a moment. Reigns hits Drew as he comes down to the ring apron as well, and then rolls him back in. Reigns blocks the Future Shock DDT. Drew catches Reigns with a big spine buster out of nowhere for a close 2 count. Drew gets up and is now waiting for Reigns. Reigns gets the eye rake to block Drew, and then a rock bottom. He stole the Rock's moves because they're your cousins. Drew kicks out at 2. Reigns puts a finger into the air and now is waiting in the corner for Drew to get up. Reigns charges up the Superman punch, which I still think is the dumbest thing to do. Drew ducks, nails the Future Shock DDT. Drew waits into the corner, calling for the Claymore kick. The fans start getting pumped up, but, well, guess what? It telegraphs the move over to Reigns so he can block it. Hits the Superman punch on Drew, but kicks out at 2. Reigns calls for the spear, but runs into a back kick instead. They hit the ropes. Reigns nails a spear in the middle of the ring. Another close 2 count. Reigns can't believe it. Reigns shakes his head in disbelief. Well, he is waiting for Drew to get up. Reigns then grabs onto Drew and applies the guillotine submission in the middle of the ring. Reigns brings Drew down to his knees as Drew starts fading. Drew powers back up to his feet. Reigns tightens the hold, wraps his legs around Drew in the middle of the ring. Drew's still on his feet, won't let his arm drop. Drew tries to ram Reigns back into the turnbuckles to break free, but he doesn't immediately do that. Drew sends Reigns into the ring post, and Reigns falls down to the floor. Drew goes out and follows that with a spear to put Reigns through the barrier. Ah! That's basically what you had to do because they went through the barrier in that exact same portion of the ring by the timekeeper's area. So Drew grabs Reigns, brings him back into the ring, calls for the Claymore, but Reigns meets him with a spear. Drew kicks out just in time. Now, Reigns and Drew slow to recover. Fans start standing to see what's happening. Reigns and Drew are still flat on their back. Reigns gets up, yells at the referee, who, by the way, is I almost said NDWF, WWE head official Charles Robinson. So Drew takes advantage of this, flies in, hits a Claymore to drop Reigns from behind. But guess what? It also knocks Charles Robinson down and he rolls out of the ring. Sorry, that was my shocked face. Guess what? Theory's music starts playing and he comes running down, grabbing a ref by the shirt, pulling him, Theory goes to the other referee, with the other referee over to the timekeeper's area, has the briefcase, and he's trying to hand it over to cash it in. Tyson Fury, just happens to be seated right there in the front row, right by the timekeeper's area. He stands up, boom, blasts Austin Theory into the face, lays him out. Fury stands up and is like, Austin Theory is now dead on the floor. So, as they're standing there, Roman Reigns grabs a steel chair, picks it up, brings it into the ring, but Drew levels him with a Claymore kick. The other referee rushes in, makes the quick count. Well, guess what? Roman Reigns kicks out. Drew is now frustrated. Can't believe it. Reigns and McIntyre start fighting again from their knees in the middle of the ring. As they fight up to their feet, they're now unloading on each other as quickly as they can, punching each other. They continue with the shots. Reigns hits a Superman punch. Drew ends up getting up and hitting the Glasgow Kiss again. Drew comes right back with a spear. Reigns is now down. Drew follows it up with the Claymore. The referee counts, but whoa! Somebody pulls him to the floor. It's a man in a black hoodie. Just ridiculous. He pulls the hood off from over his head, reveals himself. It's Solo Sikoa. That would be the Usos' younger brother from NXT. Solo looks up at Drew, smirks. Drew grabs Solo through the ropes, but Solo hangs him up in the ropes. Reigns is then able to take advantage of that, following it up with a huge spear, a pin, 1, 2, 3, because Charles Robinson woke up from his nap, and your winner this evening is Roman Reigns. 30 minutes, 47 seconds of your life.
Yeah, it sounds like this match was kind of a cluster.
Oh, yeah. It was all over the place. He was over here, over there, down there, up here, over there. Going to cash in? No. But remember, Roman can't win a match on his own, and this is only the 13th or something, 16th defense that he's had since he took the titles. I don't know. One of the titles has had one of them. Whatever. It's not like he ever actually shows up and, has a match. So there's that. The two of them end up leaving, and Drew McIntyre is in there. Fury, Tyson Fury, that is, not to be confused with any of the other Furies who have only had one name or two names or anything else, ends up coming into the ring and helps Drew McIntyre up to his feet. Here is a bizarre moment. Kind of bizarre for the broadcast anyway, because they kept rolling with it. They didn't end the show. Tyson Fury raises Drew's arm in the air, fans cheer. Fury grabs a mic and basically says, "Hey, everybody's here to see you, Drew. We're happy that you're here. We're still proud of you. You made your country proud." And then he's like, "Hey, you put up an unbelievable fight, and you should be proud." And everybody starts chanting Drew's name. Basically says, "Keep your chin up." And then, "Hey, at times like these, there's only one thing you can do. Sing." He starts singing American Pie by Don McLean. And the crowd starts joining in. So then Drew joins in. They finish that part of the verse. Theory is then thanking him and thanking Cardiff for the evening. So he gives Drew the mic. And Drew's like, "It didn't go quite the way we wanted it to." Obviously. So then he talks about how tonight was good, says Reigns' fake island of relevancy is nothing, and that his island didn't let him down. They were passionate, loud, showed the world what they're made of. Drew goes on talking more about the fans, says, forget about the outcome and let's party. So Drew then asks Fury, hey, can we sing Sweet Caroline? And Tyson Fury's like, Drew then asks if they're still alive. And of course, they're still alive. Thanks the crowd again. Says he loves them. And then starts singing Oasis. Don't go away mad. And then they pose. They cheer a little bit. And then they're finally off the air. There is Clash at the Castle 2022. Closing thoughts.
Kidder, I am tired. This has been even long listening to you talk, but man, I actually thought that I had drifted off and fallen asleep when you started talking about American Pie being sung on the show.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm okay that I missed this one. Kind of feels like it was a pay-per-view where not a lot happened and all of that. So, and for those of you who don't have the benefit or are not watching the YouTube version of this and are curious where the scores ended, tonight, Kidder, you came in second place with 3 correct. I take the win with 4.
Yarr.
Any other final thoughts, Kidder?
I wasn't too thrilled with the first ever Clash at the Castle. I think it's the first ever Clash at the Castle. I don't know. I think that they let down the UK for having a show of that caliber being there for the first time in 30 years. I mean, over 62,000 people. And one comment I saw was, that was a good episode of SmackDown. I enjoyed that. That one tickled me. The other pay-per-view I should note, since it's on my screen in front of me, was Insurrection. It has an X in the middle of it. That was in 2003. That was, I guess, the last one that they held there. People in that one, in case you're wanting to see that show on any of the services. Main event was Triple H versus Kevin Nash in a street fight for the World Heavyweight Championship. Other matches, Christian versus Booker T for the Intercontinental Championship. Kane and RVD versus La Resistance, which was Rene Dupree and Sylvain Grenier for the World Tag Team Championship. And Jazz versus Trish Stratus for the Women's Championship. Ric Flair is also on the cover of that picture, or the promotional DVD photo. But I don't know why, because he's not listed in the matches. Or is he? Hold on. I scrolled down. Oh, that's why. Ric Flair was accompanying Triple H, while Shawn Michaels was accompanying Kevin Nash. Scott Steiner is also facing Test. The Dudley Boys took on Christopher Nowowski, Rodney Mack, and Teddy Long, wrestling in a 6-man tag match. Goldust had a match with Rico. And Hurricane fought Lance Storm. Plus Maven with Christian Eckstein in a singles match. I might have to go watch that one to get the taste of this match out of my head. What do you think, Howie Blues? Is that enough?
I was just about to say, well, Kidder, you've been talking for quite a while. I've kind of just been sitting here listening, trying to stay awake. So as we kind of become the new tradition, allow me to take over the cheap plugs so that you can rest those vocal cords, because we have to do this all again tomorrow.
Okay, thank you very much, Howard.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to learn more about Beer, Blues, and BS, the first place to start is our website, beerbluesbs.com, or as Kidder would say, beerbluesandbs.com. You know what? He'd actually probably put more emphasis on it. Something along the lines of beerbluesbs.com. What a little Billy Mays there. But anyway, it's our home in cyberspace. It's where you can find a lot of the information about the show, learn more about the host, learn more about opportunities to how you can sponsor or help us with provide more of this great wrestling content.
But wait, there's more.
Yes, you can buy us a beer. That's right. You can click. Wow. You can click on the buy us a beer button. I just get to do that just to get Kidder to laugh.
I'm laughing with you.
Yep. You can click on that and you can buy us a beer, get your name up on the show. And hey, if you want to leave a message, a thought, a comment, something you want us to talk about, you can put that in there too, and we'll read it off on the show. Also, there is the link to our merch store where we have great merch like this premium t-shirt that I'm wearing. Yes, you can get yourself a premium t-shirt or one of our many other fine t-shirts with all sorts of fun slogans. They're all there. Check them out. Feel free to buy one of those. Say you want more news. Maybe you want a little bit more up-to-date information on Beer, Blues, and BS. You can also check out our Facebook page. Make sure to like and subscribe to the page so that you get all of those updates. And hey, if you like seeing our happy, smiley faces, you can, of course, see the YouTube version of our shows put up on YouTube. Just search Beer, Blues, and BS. You never know when there'll be some, crazy fun editing. Stuff happens. And for those of you who are the audio listeners, we do appreciate you downloading the show and listening. You can find us on all of the major podcasting platforms, from Google Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Pandora, and a bunch more. So make sure you're searching Beer, Blues, and BS. And again, subscribing to the show so you do not miss any of our episodes. And with that, I'm Howard Blues. He's the man, the myth, the legend, the Mark Kidder, wishing all of you to keep your glass half full.
At least half full.
We'll have free beer for you tomorrow.
Yay.
And, we'll catch you on down that old Irish trail that leads through the Shire and all of that.
The Tuscan Shire.
Yeah. Good night, everybody. We'll catch you next time.
You have been listening to a UA production of Beer, Blues, and BS. If you enjoyed the show, help others find out about it by rating the show or leaving a review at your podcast listening service of choice. Thanks for listening, and may your glass never be empty.